Mockery. Aggressive jokes are when someone uses ridicule, sarcasm, or derogatory comments to make another feel foolish, insecure, or unworthy, to throw the interlocutor off balance, make them nervous and defensive, and sometimes just to have the last word and end the conversation. An example of manipulation through mockery. You give a presentation at work and your colleague says afterward, "Well, that was cute, funny to watch you try to be professional." This comment makes you feel insecure and doubt your professional abilities. Devaluation is when a person belittles your achievements, feelings, opinions, or experiences to make you feel insignificant and insecure. Erisani yaivenzanias and they. This allows the manipulator to gain control over you, making you doubt yourself and your abilities. For example, you share your concerns about a difficult situation with a friend. The friend responds, "You always dramatize things. It's not that big of a problem." In this way, the manipulator wants to undermine your self-esteem and confidence, so you feel dependent on them. Ignoring is when the person deliberately pays no attention to you or your words to achieve their own goals. This way the manipulator can show others that they are the one dominating the situation, that they are in charge here. Are you trying to talk to someone about an important issue, and this person doesn't respond or pretends not to hear you? This can make you feel insignificant, unimportant, and even make you doubt the correctness of your actions or words. Key points of this tactic include ignoring messages or requests. The person doesn't respond to your calls, messages, or questions. Silence in response to questions or remarks. You say something important, and in return, silence. Inattention. Pretending not to notice you, even if you are nearby and need a response or reaction. Love bombing. This is a manipulation tactic where a person initially overwhelms you with excessive attention, love, and care to gain your trust and affection. This can look like constant compliments, gifts, messages, and a desire to spend a lot of time with you. However, after the manipulator has gained your trust and affection, they may start to control you and set conditions. The main signs of love bombing are excessive attention and care from the very beginning, rapid development of the relationship, proposals to live together, or future plans at the early stages of acquaintance. Apoistaha. The manipulation through attachment. Once you are attached, the manipulator begins to control you, become jealous, and set conditions. Guilt. Manipulation through guilt is when someone uses your sense of guilt to make you do what they need. The manipulator may remind you of past mistakes, failures, or supposed debts to evoke a sense of duty or obligation to fix the situation. Imagine someone saying something like, "You know how bad I'll feel if you don't do this. After everything I've done for you, you can't refuse me." Such words make you feel guilty and responsible, and because of this, you might do what they want, even if you don't really want to. Gaslighting is a form of psychological manipulation where a person makes another doubt their perception of reality, memory, or common sense. Imagine someone constantly telling you that your memories are wrong or that you are exaggerating the situation, even though you are sure you are right. As a result, you start doubting yourself and your ability to assess what is happening correctly. Signs of gaslighting. Denial of facts. The manipulator claims that something did not happen, even though you know for sure that it did. Distortion of reality. You are convinced that you misunderstood or misperceived something. Minimizing your feelings. Your emotions and experiences are called exaggerated or ridiculous. Repetition, or constantly repeating false statements so that you start to believe them. Projection is when a person attributes their own negative feelings, thoughts, or actions to other people. Simply put, the manipulator accuses you of what they themselves do or feel, to avoid responsibility for their actions, to make you feel guilty or defensive. For example, you notice that your colleague is often late for work, and one time when you are slightly late, he accuses you of constantly being late and causing problems for the team. Although in reality he is the one who is often late, he is projecting his behavior onto you to avoid criticism and responsibility. Emotional blackmail is a form of manipulation where a person threatens you with emotional consequences, such as a breakup, hurt feelings, or showing disappointment if you do not meet their demands. Simply put, emotional blackmail is when you are made to feel that if you do not do what the other person wants, they will suffer and it will be your fault. For example, your wife says to you, "If you don't pick up the phone when I call you again, I will divorce you." Or your mother says, "You didn't pick up the phone when I called. As a result, I had a breakdown and my blood pressure spiked. I was so scared that something happened to you." At the same time, the person always justifies their words and actions with their kind attitude and love towards you. Moving you goalposts is when your manipulator constantly changes the demands or goals so that you can never meet their requests and are always at a disadvantage. Simply put, as soon as you achieve one goal, the manipulator moves the goalposts, setting a new target for you, making you always feel not good enough or successful. For example, you are in a relationship and your partner says they will be happy if you spend more time with them. You start giving them more time, limiting your hobbies and time with friends. Then the partner states that now they need you to change your appearance. Every time you meet their demands, they come up with new ones, making you feel not good enough and continue trying. Changing the subject is when a person intentionally shifts the conversation to another topic to avoid discussing uncomfortable or unpleasant questions for them. The manipulator distracts you so that you forget about the original topic of conversation or stop insisting on it. Achivaniyain. For example, you are discussing the family budget with your husband and pointing out his unreasonable expenses. Instead of explaining these expenses, the husband suddenly starts talking about how the children are doing poorly in school and that more time needs to be devoted to their education. This distracts you from the original topic of the budget and shifts attention to the children's education issues. Triangulation is a form of manipulation where the manipulator involves a third person in their relationship with you to create conflict, division, or to provoke jealousy and competition. Simply put, the manipulator uses someone else to influence your feelings and actions. The main signs of triangulation: kaki, comparison, hakinotia, kaki, da. The manipulator compares you to another person to make you feel insecure or jealous. Hidden alliances: they may form secret agreements or maintain contact with a third party without informing you. Creating conflict na di popaki mistam. Arestiamando kaki. The manipulator may tell one person one thing and another person something else to cause disagreements and conflicts between them. Triangulation gives the manipulator a sense of power and control, attention, and emotional reinforcement. Isolation is when a person tries to distance you from your friends, family, and other supportive people to gain complete control over you. Imagine someone constantly criticizing your friends, saying they have a bad influence on you, or causing arguments when you want to spend time with family. Gradually, you start interacting less with others and begin to depend solely on this person. The main signs of isolation tactics are criticism of your loved ones, creating conflicts, controlling your time and communication, gradual distancing. The victim role is when a person constantly portrays themselves as hurt, suffering, or unfairly deprived to make you feel guilty and do what they want. Imagine someone constantly complaining about their life, telling how everyone offends them, and hinting that only you can help them. Because of this, you start to feel responsible for their well-being and do everything to make them feel better, even if it's inconvenient for you. You can determine that you have encountered the victim and are becoming the object of manipulation as follows. The person always complains about life but never makes any attempts to change anything. Next to the victim, you feel awkward and need to take responsibility upon yourself. Sometimes you just feel like a parent next to a child you need to care for or who is asking for your help. The person, when recounting events from life, seems to savor the negative aspects, describing them vividly and in detail as if deriving pleasure from it. Ghosting is when a person unexpectedly and without explanation stops communicating with you. They just disappear, stop answering calls, messages, and avoid any contact. This leaves you in the dark and confused, making you wonder what went wrong. Ghosting can cause serious harm to the person who became a victim of these practices. The feeling of uncertainty and insecurity in a person experiencing ghosting can lead to various psychological problems such as anxiety, depression, fear, and a sense of alienation. Shaming is when people publicly mock or criticize others for their appearance, behavior, personal beliefs, and more. Shaming is often based on stereotypes and prejudices and can have serious consequences for victims. There are various types of shaming, for example, body shaming, humiliating a person for their appearance, fat shaming, humiliating for excess weight, age shaming, criticizing and humiliating people based on their age, including young and elderly people. The psychological consequences of shaming can be catastrophic for the victim. Often they experience a strong sense of shame and inadequacy, which can lead to depression, increased anxiety, and low self-esteem. If you want to discuss this video or suggest an idea for the next one, join to my channel